Welcome back to another episode of Talk Your Shit. I'm back. This is DB. I'm here with my man P. P,
Yeah.
tell him what it is, man.
Another week, man. Another week of sports, man. We could start off with some NFL, man. NFL's been crazy. It's been winding down.
Crazy weekend.
Uh,
A lot of people, a lot of teams, jockeying for playoff position. A lot of guys setting records and proving to their other teams why they shouldn't have been traded. You know what I mean? D Hop, Diggs. You know what I mean? A couple guys, balled out, have been balling out all season.
yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah, let's jump into that game last night, man. Pats and Bills, yo, like Cam, it just like I want the season to be over for the Pats. They just need to stop.
yeah. They need to stop. They need to stop. Their season should have been, I believe, cut short probably by like week 4.
Mm.
Because it looks bad. It looks bad, bro. It's disgusting football, bro. Like it's. I mean, we're not used to seeing the Pats look this bad. And I mean, it sucks that Cam comes into a situation where at the beginning of the season. I mean, I don't know if it was Super Bowl, thoughts in the air, but yeah, I mean that went away after week 3. Yeah, they don't look too good. They don't look too good.
Actuals, man. Like, what is it? So, have you ever been on a team that you thought that fell short of expectations? And like, how was it? When you guys, have you ever been on a team like it was just like a long losing streak? You win one game and you lose some more. The coach wasn't confident in the game plan that he was putting together, the lineups. The players weren't confident in the coaches. Like, what was it? And have you ever been in a situation where you and your team had to band together to dig yourselves out?
I would say our Astro team, man. I think when I was 18,
What year was that?
that was 2004 Astros. I want to say that team was loaded.
Mm.
That team was locked and loaded. And I think we had the talent, but we were just overconfident. I forgot who was our coach back then, but we fell short to the Broncos in a playoff. But yeah, I mean, when and that's and you and I could compare that team to the Browns. I mean, the Browns have so much talent. The Brown has so much talent, but they just been losing. They've been losing, and when you get into when you play on a team that you go through those losing back-to-back games, it weighs on you. It's like you start questioning yourself as an athlete, and what am I doing wrong? And I'm pretty sure everybody in that Pat's locker room is looking at themselves in the mirror, questioning themselves, especially Cam. I mean, being a quarterback, I mean, you always get the finger pointed at you when you win, and obviously when you lose. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's been tough for the Pats this year, man. It's been tough to watch as a Pats fan. It's just disgusting, man.
Yeah, it's dope, man. Because I was on there was an event hosted by like a young millennial group last week in the city of Boston, and they had Devin McCourty was one of the speakers, and
Okay.
one of the questions they had asked him was like, how are you guys doing in the locker room? Like, what do you guys say to each other? Like, how are you guys handling this adversity? Because I mean, most of the players on there are,
They don't know how it feels to lose.
right. Like half the team's new, half the team's old. But like, what is going on? What are the conversations? How are you guys getting, each other up for each game? And he was mad honest. I wasn't even expecting this. Homeboy was like, straight out, we just haven't been doing our jobs,
Right.
all across the board. He said from the front office to the coaching staff to us. He was like, we just playing out. We had the same amount of time to, practice and train just like everyone else. I
Right.
mean, unfortunately, the guys that he said they have a great group of guys in the locker room. But he was like, it just, saying we believe that every game plan, we just didn't come out and execute. So when I hear that, what I hear is, we just weren't talented enough. Not only did we not have all the players that we usually go to war with, we just weren't talented enough.
Right.
And you can only point the finger at one person. That's Bill Belichick.
Yeah, and that's something that we talked about on our prior episode. I mean, because he's a GM coach.
Yep.
Like you're bringing in these players, bro.
Yep.
Like you really have to. Give up the ranks, bro. Like let somebody else,
Right.
draft these players. Like you can't, like, you're fucking shit up, bro. You pass on DK.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. Yeah, man. It's so what he was saying was like, we just put out, haven't executed, man, and it's been a long time when you look at the Patriots brand and what they've accomplished to say, damn, they can't even field a competitive team in this league in the NFC in the AFC East. So I'm just thinking like, man, how much longer has Bill got? Can he rebuild this next year? Like, is he going to do his best coaching job next year, or are we just at the end of an era?
He has to, like I said, I give him a 2-year window, man. 2-year window. So it's either he has to give up the ranks of drafting these players and just become the coach and just give up that GM role and let somebody else bring in the talent.
I mean, they're the true American team. America's team is the Patriots. They're the true American team, not the Cowboys. But the Cowboys are still out here trying to win it. You know what I mean? Trying to win the division at 4-6, 3-5.
They have
it's
chance,
wild,
bro.
Wild, man, and they have the chance, man. So what do you
that.
think? They play the Eagles this weekend, so it's Jalen Hurts versus Andy Dalton in the crew. The Cowboys definitely got the receiving core, but what else do they got?
Zeke been kind of banged up this year. I mean, he hasn't looked like Zeke of old. I mean, and obviously that comes with the offensive line being hurt, because I think there's a couple of offensive linemen that went down this season, and that's the importance of these O lines and these D lines. They really changed the game, and they go unnoticed. They really go unnoticed because Zeke was killing when he had his whole, offensive line healthy. I want to say these last 2 or 3 years.
It was like 4 or 5 first-round picks on that line.
Oh, my gosh. He was cooking. He was cooking. Listen, he was eating. Yes. Yeah, he was eating.
Feed me. Oh,
my gosh. But that shows you that the importance of an offensive line for running back and a quarterback, it's important, because Zeke doesn't look like the Zeke of old. I mean, yes, he's been banged up a little, but that offensive line, it definitely helped him. He definitely benefited from all that. But
factuals, man. Like, Zeke, I mean, he's in the second year of his max contract, and he signed last offseason.
Right.
I think, depending on how they look next year, they might be looking to trade him after next year, man. That'll be really interesting, bro.
Listen,
man. These contracts are tradable.
Oh my God, that's the thing about football, man. And I know we're probably gonna get into this later about Dwayne Haskins from the Washington Football Giants. Yo, these franchises don't give a fuck, man. They don't care. You can get drafted in the first round, and they will get rid of you within the next year.
Yeah.
And
the financials, man, it's amazing.
Wow,
it's amazing.
But
tell me, explain to the people what happened to Dwayne, man, and why you think it's are you for it or are you against it? I mean, I was listening to the airways and Shannon was all over him, and I'm just like, yo, Shannon, fall back. It's not that deep. Like, don't do that to that man.
It's not that deep. I mean, because it's been a tough year for everybody, and everybody in the world is trying to, make sense of what's going on in this world with this pandemic and trying to normalize their lives to the best of their abilities. Had this not been, a pandemic, and everybody wasn't so anal about, oh, you can wear a mask and this, that, and the third. I mean, he probably would have had a job still. I mean, this will probably be swept under the rug or whatever the case may be. I mean, they probably would have benched him, but yeah, and this sucks, man, because like I said, Dwayne Haskins. I mean, was a first round pick. I believe he was number
15, 15 overall.
15
The Washington
overall.
Redskins last year. His first head coach, John Gruden, got fired before the season was over.
Right.
Ron Rivera comes in on a COVID short season. He has all the reins, calls all the shots. Doesn't give Dwayne the chance, to go through the growing pains.
And I think that was a handicap to begin with, because
all factuals.
He wasn't drafted. Ron Rivera didn't draft him. Right. So it's easy to let go of a quarterback that you didn't draft, that you're not married to. So it's like, okay, this is John Gruden's quarterback, so I don't really care. Like, I can trade him. I mean, because even at the beginning of the season, it was just like a back and forth whether he's gonna be your starter or not, and all this other stuff. And yeah, man, I just feel bad for that young man.
It's terrible, man. No, I don't think there's been a top 15 quarterback that's been treated like this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not siding with the kid. I mean, going to the strip club during COVID with your mask off, just dropping bands, making it rain, having some fun. I get it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But you got to exercise some discipline. The only thing is, I would say that I would advocate for him is that there's this new wave in the NFL is where especially with quarterbacks, man, like they just want to see you. They want to see what you got. Boom. If you don't work, you out of there. And it's like, a lot of these other guys are getting chances after chances. Carson Wentz got chance after chance. Mitchell Trubisky's getting chance after chance. Baker is getting chance after chance. How do you go to New York? How are you a 10-5 football team with a chance to go to the playoffs, and you lose to the 1-13 Jets?
The Jets, man.
Come on, Baker. Come on. Who else are we to blame, fam? I get that you was down to your receivers, but like the Jets. You can't pull out a win against the Jets, my guy, and you're a number one pick. That's embarrassing. So the fact that he's being treated with all this, this is his second offensive coordinator. He's not getting first team reps. He's getting benched for Alex Smith, who's coming off a catastrophic, leg injury. It doesn't make sense why he's still in the league making so much money. I don't understand. But the fact that they are just not this franchise has not supported this young superstar quarterback coming out of Ohio State, where he put up gaudy numbers. That's why he was drafted number 15. He waited his time. He put up big numbers against the best competition. And you're telling me, as bad as a bum-ass team the Washington football team is, you're not going to give him a shot?
Terrible.
Come on, man. All right. I mean, so you know what? I'm tired of you, Ron. I've been listening to you all. I've been in the quarterback room. I'm coming to practice. I've been doing all the things I can, and all I can hear you is talking BS. And to me, Ron's not even that. He's not that good of a coach. He's an average coach.
He had Cam made his career.
My man was like, "Yo, one day after practice, I'm tired. I'm gonna be out of here next year anyway. Let me go see what these DC thoughts look like." You know what I mean? So he was out here.
Bands will make him dance. Yeah, man, and it sucks, man, because I feel like I said, the NFL is the only league that you can get away with this shit. You can get away with this shit. Like you can, like you said, Baker had chances left and right. Carson Wentz, and that's the thing. Like they want to keep this league, and they want to keep this league to have the quarterback to be a white face. And it's like, that's the only reason why they champion. And don't get me wrong, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is black, but he's also white and he's also fair skinned. So it's easy to root for him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure if he didn't have the talent, they wouldn't care about Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? They care. Lamar Jackson, he sells tickets. He puts butts in seats. That's why they put him, that's why he's in the cover of Madden and all this other stuff, and everybody's raving about him. But before he came in and before he showed off that talent, it was like, oh, you gotta be a receiver, catch some passes. You know what I mean? I don't think you could be a quarterback in this league. They try to not, they try to keep Flacco in front of him, but once Flacco showed that Flacco wasn't the Flacco of old that won the Super Bowl, and he's declining. Well, let's just see what Lamar got. Went undefeated, and now wow, we knew we had this special talent. Like, nah, man. I mean, it is crazy. It's unfortunate because he didn't. Dwayne didn't get a second chance. I mean, I hope that he bounces back and somebody re-signs him and he can show off his talent because, like you said, he had a hell of a career in Ohio State and got drafted 15 overall. So, I mean, I hope he gets a second chance somewhere. I mean, because everybody else is getting second chances, and why not him?
Yeah, I think what hurt him, even though I think everyone's trying to make this a race thing, and there are definitely the historics of black quarterbacks in the NFL definitely do come into play. That's always going to be a topic of discussion when you're talking about a black quarterback or a black coach maybe losing an opportunity. One thing I would say from a football standpoint that I think is hurting him is that this league has been over the last 10 to 15 years, but still fighting, but more so this year is like if you're a young quarterback who can thrive in this league, you have to be mobile. Right. You have to be able to get out of the pocket, create some plays where I'm saying the defense may cover up all your receivers, and you may need to get 3, 4, 5 hard yards on the ground. Lamar can do it. Patrick Mahomes can do it. Russ can do it. A few other guys, Tyrod Taylor can do it. So there's a bunch of guys who can do it in the league. And the only thing is that, Dwayne didn't get the chance to he got a few games. But it wasn't a big enough sample size for him to, you need reps. Right. You need reps. Like, you're going to look bad. You play 1 year as a starter in Ohio State. You come to the league. You don't get to see the field your first year. I think he got into 3 or 4 games. Mm-hmm. This year, the same thing. It's like, come on, man. How am I supposed to learn this system? Thrive.
And it's a new system.
New system. Build the chemistry with my teammates. But it's just like, come on, man. Like, we're not that good. So what? Allow me to mature. It's just like in baseball. Unfortunately, the NFL doesn't have a minor league system. We use college football as a minor league system, but the speed is different.
Right.
When you're drafted in the MLB, depending on how good you are, if you're good, you might just go straight to the show. But for the most part, you're going to single A, double A, triple A, and you're getting reps against potential guys who are either going to be in the show. You're 18, 19, 20 years old playing against 25, 26, 27-year-olds, guys who are just scratching and clawing, trying to get to the show. Like, this is their lifelong dream. So right. You're getting your best every at bat. Every time you get on base, you're in a game situation which you have to perform.
And you're not looking behind your shoulder.
You're not looking behind your shoulder. You're free.
Right.
Come on.
But speak to that. Speak to that, D. What's the importance of that as an athlete? Not being able to play carefree. You don't have to look behind your shoulder and be like, oh shit, if I make this error, if I throw this interception, the next guy is going to come for my job. How speak on that, dude.
If you're prepared for the opportunity, if you're prepared, if your coaches know that you're prepared, you feel prepared, your teammates know that you're prepared, they believe in you, and you still go out there and you don't perform to whatever your expectation is. You obviously you have to give credit to whoever you're playing because obviously they put their pants on just like you. So they train and practice just like you. So whatever they did to stop you, you got to give them credit. But if you're prepared and you still go out there and stink up the joint, you deserve to learn during that next week to get another shot at the next game to see, okay, this is where I messed up. This is how I can improve, and let me go out and show you guys I can execute. Now, if you're not prepared and you go out there and stink up the joint, and it's obvious that to your teammates, your coaches, that you just can't hack it, that you just like we've been going over with you how to hit a curveball for the whole month, and you're still just not even close. Right. You got to sit down and watch because you're not prepared. But if you're prepared, you can a lot of coaches would tell you, if you're prepared and you go out there and lose, you give it your all, they would rather that and give you another shot than you not being prepared, and now you're just wasting everyone's time. So what I'm hearing from my sources is that, like in the building, some of the players were making anonymous quotes to, the media saying, he just wasn't prepared. Like the kid's just not mature enough. Yeah, I mean, and I just think, why not somebody, mentor the kid? But I don't know what Dwayne's mentor was in the building, but as a high level competitive athlete, if I know somebody's behind me that's just as good as fight, I see them fighting every day to get on this field and get the opportunity that I have, and I don't take the most of it. I mean, it's either this is not a good fit, or I'm not being, or I just don't have it.
Right. Yeah, man. I think it was just it was definitely not a good fit. I mean, like I said, from jump, Juan Rivera wasn't really feeling him like that from jump. He wasn't feeling him from jump, bro.
Oh yeah, it was blatantly obvious, man. Where do you in your career, from basketball, baseball, track, and all that, can you name a coach that you had to prove to that you were, hey, like I'm that guy, like I'm really this good, like this is, even though like you've seen a couple bad games, you've seen a couple strikeouts, I made a misplay the ball in the center field. So is there a coach or multiple coaches that maybe didn't believe in you at the beginning that you had to show and prove, like, yo, I deserve every game, every time you write the lineup card, you're putting PS center.
Right. I would say when I went to the Padres, and that's when I left ADSL. I mean, that's when I left the Astros, the Yawkey League. It was a new team. It was new. It was a new coach. I mean, even though I played with Ed Neal for RCC, I still had to prove myself. I mean, you still had players that were staples in the team. So I remember that first year there. I would come in, off the bench or whatever, and I'll bust my ass. I'll go out there, put a bunt down, run down to first, get on base. When I was in the center field, and like I said, I always, especially when I got older, I prided myself in my defense. When I went out there on the field, I made sure nothing was getting over me. Cats trying to run on me, I'm gunning them down. And
Cats trying to advance. Cats trying to advance on me.
Cats trying to advance on me. I'm like, nah, player, nah, it's not happening. So that's how I earned his respect. And I remember my second year there. I started. Whether it was a center field, left field, or right field, I was on the field. Because he knew, like, hey, that man's gonna track it down. He's gonna track it down. He's gonna bust his ass. Running down an infield hit. He's gonna try to make that little ground ball up the middle. He's gonna try to take two or whatever the case is. He's gonna hustle. And that's how I earned my place in a lot of teams, because I didn't hit for power. I wasn't that type of player. I was more so trying to hit the gaps, because I would utilize my speed. So I try to get from first to second, try to stretch every hit. So I just hustled the best way I can possibly can, from defense to offense. I hustled, bust my ass. And that's how I earn my respect on, any team and everything that I played for.
Actuals, man. I remember when it wasn't the Astros, when I wasn't on the Astros, when I played for the Yankees, then I played for the Angels in 13 and 15. I think I played 1 year at wood bat. For the most part, I was always 4, 5, 6 hit, like a 4 or 5 hitter on those teams. When I got to the Astros, we were loaded. So, I never cracked. So I was always hitting between 5 and 8. I was always looking to, climb up and become a more impactful hitter. But, the thing was, we were so good that I was like, I liked hitting, 6, 7, 8, 9, because I knew how good I was. And studying JJ, Angel, Jimmy, I forgot the other dude's name, Oscar. Like studying those dudes because those dudes were just pure hitters, like just yeah. Fastballs, curveballs, like they just had it. Like they just had a lot more. I can tell they had a lot more reps than I did, against higher level competition before I got there. But being in those practices and doing all the drills and all the hitting, and coupled with that, all the baseball that we were playing,
Right.
whether we were playing in the projects or like we would go to Derby or Cardis, my hitting just kept getting better and better and better. I still struggled a little bit to hit the curveball probably until I was about like 16. But once 16 hit, boom, because I was at Charleston at that time, I was ready. I was sitting on it, boom, I was taking the opposite field. Yeah. I wasn't backing up no more. I wasn't jumping out the cleats. I was just like, okay, I see it. It's just nice and loose up there, quick with the hands, me. Play the flute. Those hands. So, it was that pushed me because I knew, at this point, like we were just predicated on scoring runs. Like June was just an aggressive coach. And
right.
We just had to get on base. Like if you weren't getting on base, you got your first two at bats were to tell whether you're going to finish the game or not. Your first two at bats, strikeout, ground out in the bad spot. All right, cool. Third, fourth inning, you're sitting down. Because somebody else is just as good as you on this team, sitting on the bench ready to go. And we had a couple guys come off the bench cold. I wasn't one of those guys coming off the bench cold. Just on some old. I can pinch run. I can go play some defense cold. But like coming off the bench to hit,
that's tough. That's tough. Anybody that plays baseball knows how tough that is, man. Because it's like you haven't seen a pitch for probably
2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours, baby.
and then you go up there with a pitcher that's throwing like 90 with a yak, with a curveball that's falling off the table. Oh my God.
The thing is, but I would say that the more that I started to hit, the more playing time I got. And towards like midway, it was like we had this other kid that was playing catcher. He wasn't a good hitter. So I had caught. So at that time, it was just me and him catching. He was obviously like he just had more experience catching. That's why June brought him in. But me and him were both switching off catching. Like he would catch Jimmy because Jimmy just had that gas, and I was just like, yo, I'm good trying to go home. My hand all hurt. I'm just like, yo, no. I'm playing right. I'm like, yo, I'll like before the game. Before I'm getting dressed, what up, June? Ha ha ha. Yeah. I'm playing right today, right? Ha ha ha. Tap him on the ass, like, yo, throw me in the outfield today. But yeah, man, like it's one of those things. Like knowing someone's behind, knowing that you could be replaced was a big motivator for me. Especially being on the Astros. So that was one of the great lessons I heard. It's like, yo, you got to compete. No matter if you're the starter today, doesn't mean you're going to be the starter tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, we had so many people coming to our games. I'm pretty sure, I'm like, a lot of people came to your games. You don't want to be the one on the bench.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you got the stands, it's packed, it's hot outside, cats got barbecues, you got babies.
Got the DJ out there.
You got babies, you got the DJ out here, you got the concession stand popping. You know what I mean? You got your little shorty coming through with her friend. You know what I mean? Like just sliding up. Oh, what up? Now, like you gotta come out here and perform, man.
Yeah,
and
you have to.
Unfortunately, relationships coming. I think we a lot of times we forget that relationships play a big part in our development as athletes, with our coaches, with our trainers. So we gotta always make sure that we're proving to them and ourselves that we just got the work ethic. And it sounds like homeboy just didn't have the work ethic. Maybe a change of scenery is going to help him.
But how do you get to the top of the hill and not have that work ethic? Like I always found that kind of crazy to me. Like
maybe you're distracted. Maybe because don't forget he's from DC.
Okay.
So that's home. So he got drafted at the crib. So he got mad distractions. You know what I mean? And I mean, for some guys, when you get to the league, it's like, yo, I got drafted. You know what I mean? Cool. Right. I got this amount of guaranteed money in my contract. You know what I mean? Moms are set. I'm set. I'm just living good. And I don't know if he just wasn't focused on like, all right, now that I got this little bit of bread, I got to get to the second contract. That's where the 100 mils. That's where the 100 mils at guaranteed. I need to get there. But it just seems like, yo, I'm not. I don't know what it is, but there's always a racial undertone when opportunities are taken away or not fairly supportive of black quarterbacks. So that's why I understand where you're coming from. Whether I understand. I don't know if I agree, but I understand and I see where someone can say, the league wants to just keep white quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, because you see it all so often, man. Like they're quick to get rid of a black quarterback.
Speak to this, Pete. How come this doesn't happen in baseball?
As far as what?
Just in terms of when a young stud gets drafted, it seems like though they give this young stud, Yasiel Puig, Tatis, what's my other guy's name? Mookie. They give a lot of these young guys early on. A-Rod when he was young and Griffey when he was young, they get these reps. They throw them out there and let them grow.
But the thing is the difference between baseball and any other sports, like you just said, they get those reps in the minor leagues. So let's say, for instance, A-Rod got drafted straight out of high school. I'm pretty sure I think he played in the Double-A. And matter of fact, Bryce Harper. Bryce,
yep, Bryce.
He got
Mike Trout.
Yeah, Bryce got drafted out of high school. And what they do, like you have that comfort zone, like you can fuck up in AAA. You can fuck up in AAA, and especially if you're a number one pick, all you have to do is perform. All you have to do is perform. And Bryce Harper, if you remember, he performed, and they brought him up real quick. I think they brought him up
like midway
that
through
same summer that he got drafted. So he got up there when he was 18. And when you get those reps from minor leagues, from single A to Double-A to Triple-A, you built that confidence. You know what I mean? And I feel like in football is one of those situations that you throw 4 interceptions and you're out.
Short leash, fam.
You know what I mean?
Short leash.
It's a short leash. I mean, where in baseball, it's like, let's put him in the minor leagues, let him get his shit right. And once he gets his shit right, let's bring him up.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It was like with a COVID short season, new staff, I was wondering, like, yo, just let him sit.
Right.
Just let him sit.
No training camp. Just
let him sit. Just let him sit. Like, yo, like everyone needs to get comfortable, especially with young quarterbacks. Young quarterbacks are the hardest to groom. Like, yes, some guys are more prepared than others to come in and have an impact. But like, look at the Chargers. Like, homeboy Justin Herbert, drafted, around between 10 and 15, I think 17 or whatever. Yeah, just set the record. He just set the record for passing TDs for a rookie. But they also suck too. So he's just getting reps. He's just out there.
And he doesn't have anybody behind him. Like, okay, I can throw this 3 interceptions, and they're not gonna pull me.
Right. Well, I mean, they got Tyrod, but they don't believe in Tyrod. I don't understand what this infatuation is with Alex Smith. Like me and my brother talk about this all the time. It's like, why does Alex Smith keep getting these contracts? What about him? What about him? It says, hey, he's a winning quarterback. We've seen it. He's not.
It's a good story. They like seeing that that white quarterback and that comeback story and all that stuff. So that it plays in a narrative. You know what I mean? So just like Gordon Hayward down there in Charlotte, they want these guys to win. So they put him in positions to win. I mean, Alex Smith, don't get me wrong, he looked, he had a couple of games out there that he looked good. But I mean, what's the point of drafting Dwayne?
It's a wasted draft pick, man. Like, this is what sets a lot of franchises back. Like, for instance, look at Green Bay. Drafting Jordan Love. Why? Aaron Rodgers is literally having one of his best seasons this year, proving to you that, hey, you're going to have – he just signed another $100 million something contract like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
In another year and a half, bro, they're going to have to re-up another 100 because he's balling at the age of 36, 37.
That's the thing, D. Like you said, 36, 37. He's an older quarterback. So you have – this is a franchise thinking about – their organization. Because at the end of the day, yes, we have him on the contract for the next 2 years. When those 2 years up, he's going to be 39. Are you going to give all this money to a 39-year-old quarterback? Like you can, I mean, you might have to because he's good, but at the same time, okay, we still have Jordan Love in the back. So the minute that he says, okay, it's time to hang it up, we have our future. I mean, I wasn't too mad about that pick. I mean, because that's, an organization thinking about their franchise, because they're thinking about life after, that bad man back there.
But it's too early. It's too early only because it was very premature, immature. It's because not only did they could have, if they wanted to draft a quarterback, they didn't have to use him in the first round. When you draft a quarterback in the first round, you're saying like, yo, he's going to be playing soon. Because not only does
not necessarily.
Not only does he get gets an extraordinary amount of guaranteed money. Now you're taking away a first round weapon that could be used on the defense,
right?
Or the offensive line. So not only do you draft a quarterback in the first round, you essentially ignore the offensive gaps that we have. So you're taking a resource away from me as I'm getting older. I'm 36 years old. Pete, the man is completing 70% of his passes. Nobody else in the league is doing that. Mahomes is at like 69. Nobody else is in the league doing that. Nobody in the last 5 years is has done that. So he's telling you, and he said it to me. He's like, I played about 42. I mean, he wants to play in those 40s. Brady started this wave. Favre started this wave. He's keeping it going. And it's just like, a lot of these guys are going to keep playing to like their early 40s, So why not go all in on the weapons? It's amazing.
I mean, because like I said before, I think it's just because he's an older quarterback. I want to say I want to see Aaron Rodgers, finish up his career with Green Bay, but I think they're gonna Brett Favre him. They're gonna Brett Favre him, and that's just simply because they're gonna Brett him.
Wow.
So I can see them moving on. After the 2 years.
Who stays longer, Aaron Rodgers or the new coach Matt LaFleur? Because LaFleur's in his second year.
I could see Matt LaFleur staying. I could see Matt LaFleur staying.
Okay.
He's because he's one of the younger wave of coaches coming in. And they're eating that up. I mean. Because you have the
eating it up. That's why this is I'm gonna say this every week on this podcast. If Bruce Arians needs to be fired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and replaced with current offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, future head coach in the NFL, Eric Bieniemy. He has worked along Andy Reid. And he's the primary play caller for the Kansas City Chiefs. Primary.
How long he's been since the Eagles?
He's been I'm not sure how long he's been on Andy's staff, but he's been on Andy's staff for a while. I'll have our research team look into that. Yeah, man, he's prime. He's prime, ready to go. And if we continue to hot, if the NFL is so hot, like you said, I'm glad you brought that up. They're so hot around hot offensive coordinators. So if he from the year before, when they lost to the Patriots, when the AFC Championship they lost, boom, that's Mahomes' MVP season. So not only has he groomed the MVP quarterback, he's groomed a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. He's led the team to a Super Bowl. And this year, they're favored to win the AFC East and go back to the Super Bowl. So I as soon as I get off this call, I have a 9:30 call with Skip Bayless. For me, for the guys who don't know, I know Skip on the first name basis. Uncle Shay be yelling at that man every day on the Skip. Come on now, Skip. You know better than that, Skip. But yeah, man, Bruce Arians is gonna be fired, man.
He needs to go.
Teams on the bubble, man. The Browns couldn't play their way into the playoffs. It was crazy. Baltimore's hot. They won their last 4 games. Lamar's coming back on. They've seemingly gotten their act together.
I think that's going to be a dangerous team if they make the playoffs.
Them in Miami. I want to see them in Miami really make it, man. Because Indy, I'm not sure about Indy. Indy lost to the Steelers.
Yep. They lost to the
That
Steelers.
was a good game, but Phillip Rivers is holding them back.
Yeah, and that's another quarterback that's keeping these opportunities. And mind you, I was a Phillip Rivers guy once, when he got traded and that was a good quarterback draft class. But he hasn't done it.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
So he has in terms of so he has a lot of passing yards, a lot of passing touchdowns. But a lot of interceptions and just has lost a lot of close games. That's one thing. He's lost a lot of close games. He's one of those guys who can keep you in it, but he can also throw you out of it.
Yep.
And he's gotten a lot of coaches fired. Phillip Rivers has gotten a lot of coaches fired, sent to the unemployment line. You know what I mean? A lot of kids didn't get the Christmases that they thought they was gonna have because their daddy didn't have a job because of Phillip Rivers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because his sorry ass. So
the football from the side shit is crazy. I don't know. Like Phillip,
bring the side home, Joey.
He needs to get the fuck out of here, man.
He got the equivalent. He got the NFL El Duque. He got the NFL El Duque. Like, come on, fam.
Oh my God.
What you want me to do with this, fam? What you want me to do with this? From the
poor Keenan Allen, man.
Oh yeah. That's my guy. I love Keenan. Love Keenan. He just signed a massive another extension. Well, he had to because he earned it. He signed another extension. But yeah, hopefully him and Mike, man. I think Mike's about to be a free agent as well. So
Mike's just been hurt. He's been hurt a lot. I hope he stays because I like him and Keenan working together. And it's gonna help Justin Herbert, but we'll see, man. You want to jump into some basketball?
Speaking of basketball. Whoo, James. Wow. Hey, yo, man, I just on some real.
And you remember you said you came a little chunky around the waistline. So what do you think about his performance?
My man Jimmy. I'm stuck. I'm not even calling him James no more. I'm calling him Jimmy.
You gave him a nickname?
Yeah. I'm calling him Step Back Jimmy.
Step Back
Jimmy is amazing. I don't care what he's doing off the court. I don't care what kind of turmoil he's causing this team. I like that he's just on some old, hey, here's 30. No matter what the situation is, here's 25, here's 30.
Don't forget.
Get out the way. Set this screen, big man. I don't know your name, but come set this screen. And I'm going to cook.
Wow.
And like P, like
wow.
I know growing up you were dead favorites. Like nobody can say nothing about Carmelo.
No.
I think as I've grown up and started like diving into him these last like 6-7 years, I give it to you. The dude was an amazing scorer. I saw it, but I didn't appreciate it. So I appreciate how much of a great scorer he was. Yeah. Now Jimmy. Jimmy is I'm not even comparing him to Carmelo. I'm just saying Carmelo was extremely talented. He was off the charts. Him, LeBron, D Wade, he was off the charts. At this age, Harden as a scorer, I don't know why he's just in my head. So he's way above even though Carmelo's amazing, this guy's way up there. And it's like, why is it that you're this amazing putting the ball in the hole
with ease, bro?
With ease, but nobody can play with you to win. Like it doesn't amount to the significant wins. I get it. I'm not gonna hold him. Chris Paul did get hurt. I give him that.
Yeah, he definitely.
But you had almost 9 years in Houston, almost 8 to 9. Like you can only point to that season, that one time where it was like you were there, you figured it out. And with that injury, I think they probably would have beat Golden State, probably, but they did.
I think so.
But come on, Jimmy, you're too great to be in this midst of this controversy, because P, this is he's been in the league what 10 years, 11 years, because
I think it's
10, 11. Like now is the time where like you're on your last leg as being the number one dog. Like so they could like NBA like goes in generations. So for you to be 10, 12 years in the league, unless you're LeBron or somebody else, KD or whatever, I mean, this is probably your last stretch of being the number one guy, man. And if nobody wants you, because think about it, even though they can, even though they can get a bunch of, first round picks for him and probably another all-star, they don't necessarily have to trade him to a contender. And that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to see him playing with the Knicks. I don't want to see that.
I got a feeling, man. I got a feeling it's going to be it's not going to be a playoff team.
Like I said before, it's just they're asking for too much. And when you have enough,
wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Of course. This guy is like a generational talent. Like you don't see scoring like this. Like right now, like you just said, Carmelo, like his offensive package was ridiculous. That one jab step, that coming down the mid range hit you, put you in the post, fade away on you, and if Lala's in the stand, I'm gonna dunk on you, and he was filthy offensively, and then now you look at James Harden, and I would have to throw that guy in Brooklyn out there, like, oh my gosh, like the way like these guys score with such ease, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But it's gonna be. I mean, Houston is gonna ask for a lot, and there's not a lot of teams that can give up a lot. And I think I was talking to you earlier this week or last week that I don't want to see him going to Brooklyn, because that Brooklyn team is good. Yeah, Brooklyn team is good. Spencer Dinwiddie just got hurt, so that's gonna kind of, hurt Brooklyn a little. But that's gonna be a lot of people, a lot of pieces that you're gonna have to give away to get James. So it's gonna take away from your role players. And I think that the Brooklyn Nets are, the way that they're assembled now, they're gonna be a problem in the East. But it's gonna be hard to pair a team to James Harden, and like you said, it sucks, and I don't want to see him go to a team that doesn't contend, because it's like, come on, James Harden. Like I don't want to watch the Knicks play.
Knicks, Sacramento.
And Sacramento. I would like watching.
It's not looking good. Orlando. The Spurs. I'm interested to see what the Spurs are doing. I wonder if Pop is even considering it, because because the Spurs got some young talent down there. So yeah. I'm wondering if he can package DeMar, some draft picks, and maybe another player, Dejounte Murray or something, to go get him. Inside of Texas they probably won't do it, but I think Dallas is set. Dallas is pretty solid. Luka's coming on. Porzingis is still hurt. But if Mark Cuban wasn't so lovey-dovey with his players, man, because he doesn't like to trade anybody.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So
I like that as a GM, as an owner. Like he's a player. He's a player's owner. And that's rare. You don't see that in sports.
And he knows the game of basketball. He's not an owner that just owns. He knows the game of basketball. Yeah. Like I've spoken to him a few times, and in passing in a few events, But yeah. We play poker and whatnot. But
okay.
Homeboy really knows the game. Like I've seen, he broke down like one day. He was on a first take. He broke down the game where the whole Miami Dallas series, and he was just like, hey, we knew we weren't as talented as the Miami Heat, but he knew that he's like, if we take away these lanes, if we force LeBron to get the ball out of his hands, we can win this series. And that's exactly what they did. That was the game plan. Force LeBron to give up the rock. And by the time he got the rock back in a clutch situation, he was cold. You know what I mean? He wasn't involved in the game flow. I mean, he couldn't have the impact that he normally does have, that we expect LeBron to have. And I thought that was a genius game plan. It was, I mean, you can have the game plan, but you have to execute it. So Dirk and all them guys executed the game plan. They won a championship, man. And people get on like, yo, LeBron wasn't clutch. We just forget to give Dallas Mavericks the credit that they deserve.
Yeah, they played a good series. They definitely played a good series, man.
And they were them cats was shooting the three. They were clipping that thing. Yeah, crossing half court, Sean Marion, Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, Dirk. They was launching them things. Like they were, ha, hold that, ha. Another one. And, that's where we're at with Mark Cuban, man. Where, Jaw just got hurt. High ankle sprain, out 2 or 3 weeks. I mentioned this. I don't know if it's the last episode or before. I told you. And if you go check the film right now, the play that he got hurt on, he was jumping, just trying to block a shot, and he was trying to jump mad high. Like, dude, you're not about to dunk. I don't know, like, relax.
And I seen the play. I'm like, because I didn't see the play when it first happened.
Yep.
I seen the play on ESPN because I was thinking that, okay, he was coming down trying to dunk the ball or trying to drive or whatever the case may be, but it wasn't the case. Like, he was trying to block a ball from the back or whatever, and he jumped mad high. I'm like, what the fuck he's on, bro? Like, chill. Stay your ass in earth, bro.
Hey, come on, baby boy. And this is, I think, and I'm glad it was not a major injury, Pete, but I think it
looked bad. It looked bad.
But, I mean, they said high ankle sprain out 2 or 3 weeks. So he's probably out a month. Cool. If I'm his agent, I'm telling him, chill out, bro. Be a game manager. Make some plays. You need your legs. This is your second year.
Right.
We got 2 years, maybe 3 years until we get to your end of your contract. Chill.
Yeah.
Find other ways besides dunking to get your points, to get your assists.
On other humans.
Like, come on, man. Like, this is now use this injury to focus on the gaps in your game to become better. Yeah. I remember breaking my wrist. I broke my wrist, I think it was like 14. 14, 15. I broke my wrist right before baseball season. So, I mean, I was out, so I couldn't really swing. I mean, I can't hold nothing. I couldn't hold the bat. So, like, I'm just looking at the game, just like taking mad mental reps on how to, play the game, better defensively, how hand placement. I'm watching a lot of hitters with their hand placement, how they throw in their hands. So it gave me a lot of time to think and craft my game. And then once I started getting back training, get my wrist stronger, I mean, I felt different. So I knew I had to adjust.
Right.
And I'm hoping, and like it all works out. Like if you put in the work, like you can come back from an injury, but you're going to be different. You're never going to be the same where you were. That's just not possible.
How was your confidence coming back? Like holding the bat, like swinging. Like how was? Because it's like
it was in my head. It was in my head because it hurt.
Right. It's a mental thing. It was a mental thing.
Because I also had like this wrist brace that where it came up to like right here, so I couldn't bend it for a while. So I was just up there, swinging a lot. It was just basically I was holding it with this and pushing. I mean, it hurt, but it gave me some insight on how to attack the ball now when I do get a healthy hand. But yeah, man, let's Blake Snell just got traded to the San Diego Padres from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Big, and don't forget Darvish is going over there too. I think they're still in the discussion. I think that trade finalized, but yeah, Darvish and Blake Snell.
Where's Darvish at? He's still in Texas.
He was in Chicago. He's in Chicago.
Cubs. Yep.
He's in Chicago, so I think they finalizing that deal too.
Where's he
Uh,
going? Where's he going?
he's going to San Diego.
So okay, so San Diego's making a push right now.
Let's
They
just
got that. They got two or three offensive cornerstones up there. So Blake Snell for those who don't know Blake Snell is a former Cy Young winner. The Rays made it to the Rays played in the 2000.
No, they played in the World Series.
World Series, the 2019 MLB World Series. Blake Snell was pitching a wonder. He was out there dominating. Small market pitcher. Out there, he was dominating the Dodgers. I think they took him out in like the seventh inning. When he was sixth inning, he had gone through the lineup three times.
Only allowed 3 hits.
Only allowed 3 hits. The coach takes him out. Mookie and Mookie Bellinger, they all go off. They go off. They literally said after the game they were surprised that they took him out the game, and when they did, they knew they were going to win a World Series. Now San Diego. So in my head, I know that Blake's agent and Blake was like, "Yo, I respect this franchise and what they're trying to do. I understand, like, just analytical, but you got to get me out of here. Like, as an athlete, as a dominating pitcher, you got to get me out of here. Like, I get the analytics, but you don't do that to me. Not my moment. Like, I worked my whole life to get to the biggest stage. The biggest stage to not only get myself here, to get my team here, and you don't believe in me after I've already just shut these motherfuckers down for 6 innings.
One of the best lineups in the MLB.
It was it was a masterful pitching display for sure, for the ages that I've seen.
And now you put them in the same division with an emerging team because the Padres are coming, man.
Yes,
the Padres are coming. I remember you was talking about the Braves. These teams, listen, baseball is going to be exciting once it comes back around because these young, you got these young arms and these young phenoms. You got Fernando Tatis, you got your Mookie Betts, you got it's just a whole bunch of young studs that's going to show out. But this trade definitely puts the Padres in contention, man. Like they're going to be a tough out in the NFC, in the West. Because these arms. And don't forget the guy Cleaver that they just picked up from Cleveland. He just got Tommy John, so he probably won't be pitching this year. But when he comes back, that's another arm. Like so, these guys are loaded, man.
So are they the biggest threat to the Dodgers right now?
Right now, yes. And the reason why I say that is because of pitching. Because even like the pitching staff that they have now. Way better than what they had last year. Now you add a Cy Young, you add a Cy Young, a runner-up, and Yu Darvish that had probably one of the best seasons of his major league career. I mean, because he came back from Tommy John and he was up and down when he was with Texas, and then he turned it around when he was in Chicago. And last year he pitched the lights out. So now you add these 2 arms on your top of the rotation, and then you have Manny Machado, and then you have Fernando Tatis, and then you have Farm out there. So these guys are, and listen, they're loaded. They're a loaded team. And they picked up this Asian cat from the Korean Baseball League. He played second base. His team just won the championship over there, and listen, don't sleep on the Padres, man. Don't sleep on the Padres.
It's going to be interesting, man. Like, how are they going to handle Corona? Are they going to get the season started? Are they going to be able to finish the season?
I mean, they got over the season. I mean, they made it through this season. I think if they take the same approach that they did this season next year, I think they'll be fine. I'll be fine. I mean, because we don't know what's, how, what the world is going to be looking like next year, during the summertime.
Right.
Hopefully, where the world's open and we can just, be humans again. But we'll see. But like I said, I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be a big threat.
Right. Yeah, man. It's are you surprised that the Padres are making this push? And what does that say about them and where they're at?
They want to win. I mean, that's that plain and simple.
Because they've been
They've been little brothers to the Dodgers for the last couple of years.
not only the little brothers is like, like nobody even talks about the Padres.
The
Nobody
last
know
time they,
I mean, the only thing we know about the Padres is Tony Gwynn. That's the only thing
Tony Gwynn.
I associate with the Padres is losing and Hall of Fame hitter coach Tony Gwynn.
Right, and the last time that the Padres was relevant was I believe it was 90. It was either 99 or 2000 when they went to the World Series and got their ass spanked by the New York Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last time that they were relevant. But yeah, like I said, they're tired of being the little brothers to the Dodgers because they're used to seeing Dodgers making these big moves in the offseason.
Yeah, right.
And now they're like, yo, we got to turn it up. And last time that they had they made big acquisitions in the offseason. I remember they picked up Shields back in the days. That he used to pitch for Tampa Bay. And he was a bust because he was hurt and all that, and all that stuff. And that was their last push because I remember they picked up a couple of pitchers, but they didn't pan out.
Right. All right, Pete. What's your your what the fuck moment, man?
My what the fuck moment this week. My what the fuck moment of this week would be Dwayne, man. Dwayne getting the boot, man. Like I feel like he just
fired on your day off, fam.
He fight
stealing boxes, throwing ones at strippers.
Oh man, they you had fun one night and now
it's embarrassing, fam. Like you had one more week to go to the season. Like why would they do that?
Yo. Like and it goes both ways. My what the fuck moment goes to both the franchise and
they both get the donkey of the day.
Right.
Donkeys.
Because it's like what are you doing? Like Dwayne, you had one more week, bro. You was not going to the playoffs, so you could have told the strippers and everybody in DC, let's hold off until next week and we can make it rain. But my man's out, out of the NFL now. But yeah, that's my what the fuck moment of the week, man.
Hey man, is there anything that you want to leave the people with before we wrap up?
Yes, man, yes. We always have to leave on a high, on a positive note with some word of wisdom for for the people in them. Yeah, so this is a quote from Nelson Mandela. It always seems impossible until it's done. I mean, I read that and I was like, oh shit. And then it always goes to, to what we've been talking about these last couple of weeks, man. Like nothing's impossible, man. Nothing's impossible. You make it impossible if you don't try. So if you want to make the impossible possible, nigga, bust your ass, work, stop making excuses. You know what I mean? Just get up and do what you have to do to change the trajectory of your life. You know what I mean? Because you're in control of your life. You know what I mean? Right. So you gotta, get out your own way and just be like, yo, I can do whatever and anything that I can put my mind to. So just, make the impossible possible, man.
All factuals, man. To piggyback off that, man, one thing I've been thinking about and just coming to grips with, man, we can't allow fear to dictate our future. Your past is your past. It happened. You may have lost confidence. It may have been, traumatic for you, but if your name means something to you, if the sacrifice of your parents, of your grandparents means something to you, life is, at no point life is easy for anyone. Others may have more privilege, more opportunities, in advantage, but that's still no excuse for you to go out there and not represent for the name, for your last name. Not only are you representing your parents, your grandparents, you're representing. I guess I guess my thinking is a little different. Right now I'm thinking about the next 100 years in my family.
Right.
So I can't, for the things that I've already tried and failed, I can't just say, oh, I can't do this. I can't believe. My failures are continually to give me belief that I'm doing something right and that what I am envisioning and what I'm dreaming of is possible. And, for me, I was very close to my dad, and I have a very good relationship with my mom. And I just, like, for me, my main motivation is, regardless of what they could give me or what they couldn't give me, I'm going to make sure that at least they raised at least one of their siblings or like one of their children made something of themselves. Like, I'm not letting anything slide. I'm not letting any sacrifice slide. I mean, whatever was invested in me as a kid, in the support I've gotten up until now, I'm not taking that for granted, because nobody had to. Nobody had to, drop me off at school, give me lunch money. Nobody had to make sure I was going to practice. Nobody had to make sure that I had cleats or a baseball glove or sports camps to go to. That was money that could have been used for the house,
Right.
or invested in something else. But instead, it was invested in me. So I don't take none of that lightly. I don't think anybody else should. I think, if you've been knocked down, please get up. Understand that you can, pick yourself up, keep going, believe in yourself. I see a lot of older people, 35, 40, 45 years old, who just don't believe in themselves, bro.
Yeah,
and it's so surprising to me, because it's like, I want to support them by chasing greatness myself. At no point, should we just allow our fear of failure to dictate what we do next. And that's what I'm gonna leave with the people, man. And I just want to thank the people for rocking with us. Episode 10. This is the last one for this is the last one of 2020. We made it. We did it. Thank you guys for all the support. We really mean that from the bottom of our hearts. P, you want P, let them know what our socials is?
The social is _talk your shit YASHI_sports_.
Let's get it, man. So thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week, man. And just to let y'all know, we're kicking off 2021 with a bang. We got a special guest coming in. So I need y'all to tune in, lock in, pay attention to the gram. We're going to be putting up announcements. It's going to be lit for 2021, man. So we here. Lock in with us.
Okay. Lock in.
But we out.